a small community of homeless here that are actually not even on the site where the community jogs. They're on this site where you can see that there is no community. It's all vacant, big parking lot, I believe, for the Honda hill here. So what people perceive this as trash is actually people's belongings, and because most of them have been told to get out, they just grab what they can. And being an advocate for the homeless, I usually carry clothes and stuff like that that we give them. And for this, or within a week, the city comes and picks it all up. I mean, this is ridiculous. Look at that. And do they sell this? Tarps they use so they could make sure when it rains their belongings don't get wet. I mean, people are not homeless, that are homeless are don't have anywhere else to go. There is no shelter as far as the city shelter, and there is no safe zones, which we've been advocating for over a year. They bring these trucks here because they told some of the homeless that if they were here, they were going to get arrested. So that was already a threat by the police department. So in actuality, there's nowhere to go. A lot of the nonprofits do take some of the homeless in, but they have to have some kind of income in order to house them. So it's not all free, and some of these people don't have any money at all. That's why they're homeless. You know, those who do get their Social Security check, they only got enough to eat. They have to sometimes rent a hotel for a week because they can't afford nonprofits. Some of the housing that they get is not free. I know they do give, CityNet does give vouchers for first month's rent, and coast to coast. Okay. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, thank you for your... So we are getting some information here from the police. They're being we'll get a little closer up there.
But I don't want to frustrate you from
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll tell you from my perspective. The city of Orange, we've got AU dedicated, in fact, it's homeless engagement assistance resources. Okay.
You got one to say.
Yeah, Randy, back to story. When we started this, our goal was to help people people with long term. Right? And when we started that, even before my whole career here, I have developed relationships, and they understand that I am not a regular police officer who's just as I will come down and see what our conversations. I will just, when people are under the weather, I will come check them. If I haven't seen them for a while, I will come find them. If I'm hearing things about them from the other people down here, I will pass messages to them. You know, make sure you tell, I don't know, make sure you tell Jerry Holder I said hi. You know, everybody down here, for the most part, knows who I am.
You know, and there's a lot of really great guys out here, and there's some rotten eggs too. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I understand that.
I don't know that I would go so far as to say rotten eggs. I would say there are some guys who are more enforcement oriented. Okay.
They need more.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They need to be persuaded.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a training that they were giving the liaisons or stuff like that when they stopped the ordinance. Is that you're in Orange. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Is anything like that has happened here with any of training?
Well, let me ask you this first. You've been recording since I got here. Who are you recording for?
Well, I'm recording for my own self and my for People's Media here.
What does that mean, People's Media?
Well, it's just a live stream, and in essence, we're trying to get both sides of the stories, and this is great.
Yeah,
this is great.
The
You're
only
talking
thing that
to
I would caution you about is I am not our public information officer.
Right.
So I'm really not allowed to speak about policy and things like
Sure.
that. Okay.
Oh, I understand.
I can tell you that I personally had some contact with the Anaheim Police Department about the way they were doing things, and I offered some suggestions.
Right.
And I don't know whether or not that they took my suggestions into consideration. I don't know. Have they?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
they're probably.
You know, I am hesitant to take credit for anything.
Yeah. So they're probably listening to what your
I don't
suggestions
know.
are. I mean,
You know,
it's just.
I'm not one to pat myself on the back. I'm not one to think that I am, you know, anything super special. I just hope that everybody can go after this with the same end goal in mind.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And that's how we had to kind of, collaborate in essence.
Yes.
That
And
not all people perceive the police as as being harsh on people, and there's only a few that do enforce the law because they do confront people that are just got out of jail and they're continuing.
There are some members of the transient society that need that attention.
Yeah, and
then there's some that aren't. Like I know one of the guys that's been living down here. His name, I'll tell you his name, but he's been living down here for years. And when I first met him, he was a prolific drug user. I don't know what his drug habits are now, but I can tell you that he and I, whenever we see each other, we'll stop and have a conversation. That's got to be the goal. I know that I'm never going to get him out of here.
right.
This is what he has decided his life is going to be like. This is where he decided his home is. I'm not going to change that. I have no fantasy that I'm going to change that. Right? But he doesn't need that direct enforcement all the time.
Right.
Because when he's not here, he's over at Mary's Kitchen getting some food. And if he's at Mary's Kitchen, he is sitting reading a book outside. He stays to himself for the most part. He's not a threat to society. He is a guy who lives down here in that waste that these guys are cleaning out. That's his life.
Well, that's great that you're communicating with them because they do need that. As a law enforcement, you're actually a peace officer, which that's what in essence that all police officers should be. And we're trying to, I know part of our advocating for a safe zone where they could have a safe zone where they commute in one place, so that way law enforcement don't have to go around
Have you talked to any of the people that live down here about an idea like that?
I've talked to a lot of homeless, and
Have you talked to any of the people down here?
No,
Because,
this is the first.
and I'll tell you, it's just my experience.
Mm-hmm.
But the community here under the trellis is going to be different than the community under Catella.
Right.
They're within an eye's view of each other.
Yeah.
But these people here are here by themselves, and they won't get along with those people.
Right.
So you can't force them together.
Yeah.
Because you wind up with people with all of their valuables. If we were to go look through that pile, you and I would go, well, why do they need this? What do they need 7 bicycle rims for? I don't know. That's their stuff. And that stuff is precious to them. You put them together and they start fighting over that stuff.
Yeah.
Or they start fighting over the rules or the proximity in which they are to each other.
Oh, yeah.
So you start talking to them about getting them all into a safe
well,
zone.
no,
and
it's
they
actually
will actually
different because a lot of them, they do, I mean, Maxwell Park's not going to come here, or they all have their little communities, but I think if it's a possible way to get them into, like, their community over there, have that space there, where they're not in the parks, they're not in the streets, but now you could enforce something to where, hey, you have a place here to stay, and they're, I mean, I talked to a lot of them, and they say, yeah, I don't want to go to shelter, I don't want to go here, but they do prefer to have like a park of their own, or a space where, an open space where they could set up camp.
Yeah,
And
as I said to one of the guys over there, your difficulty is finding places to put people. Because land in California is finite.
Yeah.
Land in Orange County is running out, right? And it's your basic supply and demand. When you have a low supply and a high demand, your value increases, right? Basic econ. Once you get to a point where it doesn't make sense, like, for example, the Irvine Meadows Amphitheater. It is a business venture that makes money half the year long. They're taking it down because they can make more money selling tickets. You're going to have a hard time finding some place, especially in a place like Orange County, where homes are at a premium, to find people to say, yeah, we'll give up this land for, you know, some people that don't want to provide anything for it, right? And we will let that land decrease my property value. And if you were to come down and spend any time with us in any of these encampments, you would find the drug paraphernalia, the drugs, drug warrants.
Oh, yeah.
And I honestly, I would fight tooth and nail to keep that out of my neighborhood, to keep that away from my family.
Oh, yeah, we understand that.
That's why you're going to have some difficulty with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great in theory,
yeah.
but finding the areas for it are going to be rough.
Yeah. Well,
I
you
mean,
could go to a home and find that stuff too, but anyways, it's
can't go to my home.
but I
Can't
mean,
go to my neighborhood.
but you can't you can't but anyways, I know that's a problem. There's a big problem on it, but it's just trying to get something going that, you know, so we're
We at least have to get the dialogue.
yeah,
We
that's
have
right.
to get it started. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and that's what we're starting over there in Anaheim, and I'm, you know, I haven't been here in Orange, but we're out there on that site, so we know what's going on over there, and that's what's going on right now, the training. But thank you. And what's your name?
I'm Corporal Hall.
Corporal
Hall.
Hall. Thank you.
Where at?
Do you think there's
they've
people
actually.
down there?
You mean crews or?
No, like, yeah, campers.
On this side, you get some up under the bridge abutment,
Are held out.
and they in there.
Are you guys okay with them being up there, or no? Like, up in that little...
To be honest with you, I know there's a guy that's going up under there.
Okay, we're gonna stop for a minute here. This is Luno, People's Media by the People. We just talked to Sergeant Corporal Hall. Okay, here's what happens. A lot of stuff belongs there have been left. Carpets, where they kind of take a bath or so. It's a lot of stuff that they leave behind because they can't take it with them. This is the orange side of the county.